All right. We are now on target 8C. 8C is apply the formula for arc length, an area of a sector of a circle, and calculate using the radius and or the measure of the central angle. So that's a lot. We're going to break it down. So 8C.1 is converting an angle from degrees to radians or radians to degrees, using the ratio of degrees in a circle to radians in a circle. Okay. So we first need to understand what degrees and radians are. Degrees are probably a little more familiar with. Degrees are just a unit of angle measure. So it kind of be describing like what feet or what meters are, right? It's just like how you measure it, okay? It's a set measurement. Okay. And then we know a full circle is 360 degrees, okay? Should be seen that before. Half a circle is 180, a full circle is 360. If you're into snowboarding, didn't make sense. Snowboarding or skateboarding, and they do all their flips, right? 360 is them doing one full turn. Then we have what we call radians. Radians is also a unit of angle measure. And radians say an arc length of one radius has a central angle of 1 radian. And 1 radian is approximately 57.3 degrees. Okay, so it's just, again, just like an inch is about, a foot is about 12 inches, right? You can convert between them, right? A yard is about 3 feet. Then a full circle is 2 pi. So I'm going to quickly show, just off to the side or below here, right? If I had, let's say 3 feet, and I wanted to know how much 3 feet was in inches, I would take this and I would say there is 12 inches in 1 foot, right? And then I would just multiply this out, and I would get 3 times 12, that is 36 inches. The feet cancel out, right? I can do the same thing. I can create the same ratio for degrees to radians, okay? So our ratio for degrees to radians is, there is 360 degrees in 2 pi radians, or RAD, okay? We reduce this just by doing 360 divided by 2. I get 180 degrees over pi. Right? So it's just like this, saying 12 over 1, or you could flip it and do 1 over 12. Okay, it's just creating that, what we call kind of unit analysis, able to switch between things. Okay. So converting from degrees to radians, I want the degrees to divide out, so I put the degrees on bottom. So it's the angle times pi over 180. If I'm converting from radians to degrees, I want the pi to divide out. So I have my angle in radians and then 180 over pi. Okay? So let's look at some examples. Convert 90 degrees to radians. So I have degrees. that means the degrees is going to go on top, or on bottom, right? The degrees has to cancel out. And then pi is going to go on top. Okay? Then I'm just going to I find it easiest just to put this over 1 and we multiply. This is not cross multiplying. There is no equal sign. This is just multiplying straight across. 90 times pi is 90 pi over 180. Okay. Now, I'm just going to type the numbers in my calculator, not the pi. 90 divided by 180. All right. Which is 1/2. So I get 1 pi over 2 as our final answer there. Okay. All right, looking at number 2. Convert 270 degrees. All right, so again, anytime there's no fraction, I'll put it over 1 times 180 has to be on bottom. I want my degrees to cancel out. Pi has to be on top. Multiply straight across. I have 270 over 180 pi, right? This is what I'm typing in my calculator, and you get 3 pi over 2. Our last one is 100 degrees. All right, again, since it's degrees, the degrees has to go on bottom to cancel out, and then the pi goes on top. So I have 100 degrees times pi over 180 degrees. So multiplying straight across, I have 100 pi over 180. This is what I type in my calculator. 100 divided by 180, we get 5 over 9, and the pi goes on top, right? 5 pi over 9 radians. All right, looking at number 4, convert 2 pi radians into degrees. So now I'm starting with my radians. So again, this isn't a fraction, so I'm going to put 2 pi over 1. Now, I want my pi on bottom. Before I wanted the degrees to cancel out, now I want the pi's to cancel out. Okay? Then the 180 degrees goes in my numerator. Multiplying straight across, I'm going to do 2 times 180, which is 360 degrees. And then I have pi over, and I have a pi on bottom. The pi's cancel out. I am left with 360 degrees. Okay. Which makes sense. 2 pi is a full circle. 360 degrees is a full circle. Okay. 2 pi over 3, convert 2 pi over 3 radians into degrees. And now I'm starting with 2 pi over 3. This one already is a fraction, so I don't need to place it over 1. I don't need to make it a fraction. I am multiplying it by, again, I know my denominator needs to be pi, so that those cancel out. And then 180 degrees will go on top. Multiplying straight across, 2 times 180 is 360. And then 3 on bottom. And then, right, the pi is on top and on bottom. But nicely, pi divided by pi, those go away. 360 divided, and then I'm just typing in 360 divided by 3. Right? And I get 120. All right, and that is it for converting. Go ahead and work on your activity.